The latest on the Sandro Tonali situation, and Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on the Mateus Fernandes situation. He is stating that Spurs and Manchester United are fighting hard to get this deal done as soon as possible, as both teams want him in their squads for pre-season. Now, former Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Jamie O'Hara has come out and said, go and get Rashford in this transfer window. It is only £30 million. He is still a top draw player. And a full international roundup talking about all of the Spurs players at World Cup 2026. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. And if you do get a spare minute, please do vote for us or nominate us at the Football Content Awards 2026. Now, we have very, very proudly been nominated for 23 awards since 2019, and it'd be great to be there again. It will only take you a couple of minutes, so if you do enjoy the content on this channel and watch it on a regular basis, please do support us, and your support, as always, will be really, really appreciated. Thank you. Italian journalist and transfer expert Gianluca Damasio has stated that Sandro Tonali is determined to honour his word to Roberto De Zerbi that he will join Tottenham this summer. He has said yes to the Spurs head coach. Now, the latest on this situation, Spurs want a statement signing this summer. Newcastle have made it clear if Tonali is to leave St James's Park this summer, it must be for a minimum of £100 million. Tottenham so far have offered £75 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Fabrizio Romano has provided an update on Mateus Fernandes and the situation. He has stated the reality of this story is that Fernandes is prepared to go to Manchester United or Tottenham. The player is open to both moves. He doesn't want to stay at West Ham to play in the Championship. The player is ready to accept both projects. It now depends on the club who can agree on terms with West Ham to get the player, and it's all about money. Because they start 85 million, it could be more if the clubs keep fighting for the same player, and also payment tariffs are also important for West Ham. So it's not all about the fee, it's also about the timing to pay the money. Former Spurs midfielder Jamie O'Hara talking on TalkSport. He has come out and said that Spurs should go and sign Marcus Rashford in this summer transfer window. He said, I would love nothing more than us Spurs to go and break the bank with wages and get this deal over the line. It's not going to cost you loads of money. What, £30 million probably? You're going to get him for nothing because they, Manchester United, need him off their wage bill. They don't want him there. His future at Manchester United is gone right. The only reason that he'd be integrated back there at Old Trafford into the team is if they can't get rid of him. If they can come to some sort of deal and get Marcus Rashford at Tottenham, he would be a star player for us. He is still top draw. Now let's talk a little bit about World Cup 2026 and the Spurs players that have featured for their respective countries in the last 24 hours or so. Spence came off the bench in the second half as England secured top spot in World Cup Group L with a 2-0 win over Panama in New York on Saturday evening. The defender replaced injured Quansah at right back on 63 minutes, just after Jude Bellingham had fired the 3 lines ahead. Ex-Spurs striker Harry Kane headed in a second a few moments later to become England's record World Cup goal scorer. He is now up to 11 goals at the event. Jed's appearance means that he has featured in all 3 games for Thomas Tuchel's men at this summer's tournament so far. England will now face Congo in the last 32 on Wednesday. That's a 5 p.m. kickoff UK time. Marcos Senesi made his World Cup debut and played the full 90 minutes in Argentina's 3-1 win against Jordan. And Kevin Danso featured as Austria scored a 96th minute equaliser to progress to the World Cup knockout stages after a dramatic 3-3 draw with Algeria in Group J. The Tottenham Hotspur centre-back entered the action on 62 minutes in Kansas City, and after finishing second in Group J, Kevin and Austria now face Pedro Porro's Spain in the round of 32 in Los Angeles on Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time kickoff. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode, and I know it is only a short episode. There's not much news right now. I know a lot of people are getting very, very frustrated at the lack of news and the lack of a real quality signing in this summer transfer window, because all of the reports from all of the top journalists are stating that Tottenham want to go big in this transfer window, and they want a statement signing in this transfer window. Of course, they are talking to the representatives and agents of Tonali and Mateus Fernandes, and will Tottenham Hotspur get one of these deals over the line? I know a lot of people are becoming increasingly frustrated, saying, well, what on earth is taking the time, and why don't Spurs just offer £100 million if they want Tonali? I've got to admit that is my thought process as well. If Spurs want their man, if Spurs want Sandro Tonali and they want a real statement signing, then go back with £100 million, because that is exactly what Newcastle United require. And they have been very, very adamant on that. Apparently, they have said from the very off to the player, to the player's agents and so on. And they have been very clear with Tottenham and other clubs. If you want the player, we don't want him to leave. But if you do want him, it would be £100 million. So that is the price. Spurs have offered 75 plus 5 in add-ons. So if Spurs want this statement signing in Sandro Tonali, they need to go back with a much more superior offer. The Fernandes one seems a complicated one to me, because Manchester United are really going after this deal. Apparently Spurs are really going after this deal as well, but it is now down to the fine details of how West Ham and when West Ham will get their money in terms of instalments, etc. So your guess is as good as mine on the Fernandes one. But again, if Spurs want to show real ambition and they want statement signings, then Sandro Tonali and Fernandes would certainly be that. And of course, both players have Premier League experience. Now, talking about another player that has vast Premier League experience and is a really good player right now for the English national team at the World Cup, and that is Marcus Rashford. Jamie O'Hara has come out and said that Spurs should go and break the bank in terms of wages, because we all know that Marcus Rashford is on a ridiculous amount of money every week that he picks up. He was hoping for a move back to Barcelona. Of course, they have just signed Anthony Gordon. Does it look likely that Rashford will be going back to La Liga with Barcelona? Probably not. I have seen and heard many reports that Rashford doesn't fancy a move to Tottenham. But if somehow Spurs could convince Rashford to join Spurs this summer, I'll tell you what, I'd be absolutely delighted. And only a couple of days ago, I think it was last week, I spoke to Vidal Riley, the boxer and Tottenham Hotspur fan, and that's exactly what he said. If there's one player that I'd like to see Spurs sign this summer, it is Rashford. And do you know what? For a fee of just £30 million, when you weigh it all up in wages and the actual fee, when you're talking about paying, top money, and I mean top money for, a decent attacking player that can play in multiple different positions, £30 million for Rashford, I think would be an absolute steal, and you'd be bringing in a player of real quality. And again, I think that signing a player like Rashford would show real ambition in this transfer window for Tottenham, and we are going down that theme of experienced players in the Premier League, and he has that in abundance. And he's been there, done it, and he certainly knows how to hit the back of the net as well. And not only that, a fee of £30 million, if you really asked yourself and you actually looked around, which attacking players are there in the Premier League or beyond in Europe, across the world at the moment, the Spurs could go out and that would excite you and would assist and would score goals and have that Premier League experience? I think Marcus Rashford would be a really, really good answer for Tottenham. I think that he would fit in extremely well into Roberto De Zerbi's side. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe and well. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.